My cheating wife panics as affair partner's wife confronts her and served her divorce papers publicly. Hey Reddit. I always thought my wife, Lauren, and I had a solid marriage. We'd been together for 10 years, married for 7, and I truly believed she was my soulmate. Sure, like any couple, we had our ups and downs, but nothing prepared me for what I discovered. It started innocently enough. Lauren had been acting strangely for weeks, constantly on her phone, staying out later than usual, and getting defensive when I asked simple questions like where she had been. I chalked it up to stress from work, but deep down, I felt something was off. One evening, she left the house claiming she had a late meeting. I decided to check her laptop, something I'd never done before, but my gut was screaming at me. That's when I found the emails. There were dozens of them between Lauren and someone named Ben. They weren't just friendly messages. They were graphic, explicit, and left no doubt that she was having an affair. My hands shook as I read them, my heart pounding in my chest. She had lied to me repeatedly, and now I had the proof. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I decided to dig deeper. I hired a private investigator who quickly confirmed my suspicions. Lauren was meeting Ben at a hotel twice a week. He even provided photos of them together. It was like a dagger to my heart. But what really blew my mind was when I found out Ben wasn't just some random guy. He was married too, and his wife, Emily, had no idea what was going on. I wrestled with what to do. Should I confront Lauren? Should I tell Emily? Should I burn it all down or try to save my marriage? I felt paralyzed, trapped in a nightmare with no way out. Ultimately, I decided Emily had the right to know. I didn't want to be the guy who destroyed someone else's life, but she deserved the truth. I tracked Emily down on social media and sent her a message. It was short and to the point, asking if she could meet me to discuss something important. To my surprise, she agreed. When we met at a local coffee shop, I showed her the evidence I had gathered. Her face went pale as she read the emails and saw the photos. She was shaking, tears streaming down her face, but she thanked me for telling her. Emily wasn't just devastated, she was furious. She told me she had suspected Ben of cheating for months but never had any proof. Now, with the evidence in hand, she was determined to confront him and Lauren in the most public way possible. At first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to be part of her plan. It felt messy and chaotic, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized she deserved her moment of justice. And maybe, just maybe, I did too. A week later, Emily put her plan into action. She told Ben she wanted to surprise him with a romantic dinner at his favorite restaurant, and he eagerly agreed. What he didn't know was that Emily had invited me, and Lauren, to join the party. I didn't tell Lauren where we were going, I just said it was a surprise date night. She seemed excited, clueless about what was about to happen. When we arrived at the restaurant, Ben and Emily were already there. The look on Lauren's face when she saw them was priceless, pure panic. She glanced at me, then at Ben, then back at me. I could see the wheels turning in her head as she tried to figure out what was happening. Emily wasted no time. She stood up, holding a manila envelope, and addressed the entire restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to make an announcement. This man, my husband, Ben, and this woman, Lauren, have been having an affair for months. She turned to Lauren, her voice dripping with venom. You thought you could sneak around behind our backs, but you were wrong. And now, you're going to face the consequences. The entire restaurant fell silent. People were staring, some whispering, others pulling out their phones to record the spectacle. Lauren looked like she wanted to crawl under the table and disappear. Ben tried to play it cool, but even he was sweating bullets. That's when Emily dropped the bombshell. She slapped the manila envelope onto the table in front of Ben. These are divorce papers, she said. I've already signed them. I'll be taking half of everything, including the house. Good luck explaining this to your boss and the kids. Lauren's face turned ashen. She started to stammer, trying to deny everything, but Emily wasn't having it. She pulled out the photos and emails, holding them up for everyone to see. The evidence was damning, and there was no escaping it. I didn't say much during the confrontation. I didn't need to. Watching Lauren squirm under the weight of her lies was enough. When Emily finally stormed out, leaving Ben and Lauren to pick up the pieces, I followed her. We stood in the parking lot for a moment, both of us shaking from the adrenaline. Thank you, I said. For standing up for yourself. She nodded, tears in her eyes, and we went our separate ways. That night, Lauren begged me to forgive her. She cried, she screamed, she swore it was a mistake and that she loved me. But I couldn't believe a word she said. The trust was gone, shattered into a million pieces. I told her I needed time to think, but deep down, I knew our marriage was over. Over the next few weeks, I began to rebuild my life. I filed for divorce and moved into a small apartment. It wasn't easy, but it felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Lauren tried to reach out multiple times, sending me long messages and leaving voicemails, but I never responded. She had made her choice, and now she had to live with the consequences. As for Emily, we stayed in touch for a while. She told me Ben had tried to apologize, claiming he wanted to work things out, but she wasn't interested. She was moving forward with her divorce and focusing on her kids. We bonded over our shared pain, but there was no romance between us, just mutual respect and understanding. Looking back, I realized this experience taught me a lot about myself. It showed me how strong I could be in the face of betrayal and how important it is to stand up for what's right. It wasn't the life I had planned, but in a way, it was a new beginning. And for that, I'm grateful.